Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me before, I am a survivor of infidelity, and I am here to teach you about not only surviving it, but being able to stay in your relationship after infidelity. Seems like an impossible thing, right? I know that everybody will tell you that that's an impossible thing. Even if you stay, you'll just be miserable for the rest of your life. It will never work out. And I am here to tell you that that's just falsehood. That is not true at all. You can indeed get to a better place. We are 15 years out from the last D-Day, not the first one, but the last one. And we are happier, healthier, more trusting people in general and better as a couple than we ever were before. So I am here to tell you that you can indeed get to a better place. It does not have to be that you are miserable or just staying for the kids or whatever other excuses that you have been giving yourself for wanting to stay. It doesn't have to be that. It could be just the fact that you love your person and you want to be with them. It is perfectly all right if that's the case, okay? So, hello to everybody. Let me make sure I can see everybody. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. I can't see on Facebook. Where am I? Let me refresh that. Hold on. All right. So, y'all come on in. Let me know if you have questions. I am here to answer them for you. I do not gatekeep any information. I want you to get out of pain. That is where I am. I am out of pain. The place in my chest that used to hurt so bad, like I couldn't even swallow, couldn't even talk. That place is gone now. That pain is not there anymore, and I want you to experience that. I want you to go from being in pain and feeling kind of hopeless to having hope and getting rid of that pain. That's what I want for you as we are going forward. All right. Angela, hello. We've missed you too. Glad you're here with us today. Angela's our moderator. Fantastic. She's so quick. She will snap people out who are scamming. She will erase comments that are inappropriate. She is on her game. Okay. We are out here trying to have a good, positive place in our Love After Cheating group. If you're not a part of the Love After Cheating group, if you're catching me on YouTube or on Instagram, go on over to Facebook and look up Love After Cheating. That is my group. It is an entire group full of women. It's almost 7,000 women in this group who have been through infidelity and are staying. So you're not even by yourself on this, okay? So if you have not found that yet, come on over to Facebook and find me and come join my group, okay? Hello, everybody that is coming in. Hi. Glad you're here. We're going to go ahead and start. And I always tell you things that you can do to help yourself. I know there's tons of couples workbooks and couples therapy and the whole nine yards. But what if you have somebody who's not willing to do all that? Now, does that just mean that you just give up? That it's just impossible? Things can never change? No. It is not that way. You can do things all by yourself that will change situations. When you change things around you. So when you start to get back in control of yourself after this traumatic thing has happened and your brain is flipping out, when you start to get back in control of that, you start to change the relationship too. So you can start off all on your own and then let them catch up to you. Okay. So don't worry about the joint effort to heal from this. Okay. You got to heal from this no matter what. If it's joint, if it's not, if you went off and were by yourself, you'd still have to heal from this. So I want to teach you what you can do without expecting anything from them, without waiting around for them to heal you, to fix you. I am saying that you can do it on your own. Okay. So I'm going to tell you things that always work, always going to help you with the trauma. Okay. First thing is do your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? Angela, you said you've been stressed out. The full moon had you going the other day. Have you been doing your deep breathing? Always go back to the basics. That is a basic building block of life, okay? Just breathing in oxygen, exhaling carbon dioxide. That's what we do, okay? If we can go back to just that basic thing and calm ourselves, get back in control of our breathing, take back control from the part of our brain that is automatically freaking out and making our breath more short and shallow. If we can take back over control of that, we show our brain what state we want to be in. We do not have to continue to be so elevated, so angry, so hurt, so disappointed, so frustrated. We do not have to be at the mercy of those emotions forever and ever if we start with our breathing. So, start with our breathing, shall we? We are going to do 4-7-8 breathing. Now, I do 4-7-8 just because that is a good sequence of numbers to keep my mind occupied. Okay. It makes me remember, like, I have to actually think about the numbers 4-7-8. Now, people do like 5-5-5, people do like 7-9-7. It doesn't matter. Whatever breathing technique you feel like doing for yourself, you go ahead on and do it. But the one we do together is 4-7-8. Blow out. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold that breath for a count of 7, and then blow out like you're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. All right. Joni, you say, I never thought the moon affected my mood till this happened to me. Girl, I was a nurse for 20 years. I guarantee you the moon affects everybody. It is amazing. My husband, every month now, he has recognized that 3 days before the full moon happens, and like that day of the full moon, we are exhausted. Like, we cannot stay up. We're like old people. We are going to bed like 8 o'clock all of a sudden because we cannot keep our eyes open for those 3 days. Other than that, we're fine. Stay up just fine. But it is something about that full moon. It pulls on all of us. It affects this planet. It affects the tides. It affects the animals. So why wouldn't it affect us, right? So we got to go ahead and just know when it's coming and try not to react from that real volatile emotional place that it can bring up. All right. Angela, you said you hated working in the ambulance during the full moon. I know you did, girl. I know that was a misery. Oh, Lord. It's just everything can go wrong. Everything. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong on the full moon, especially in the medical field. Oh, goodness. I had to give myself a break. I was like, okay, I can't do this whole nursing thing anymore. Now, I am still every month reminding my clients that they will be affected by the moon, but it's not chaos like it is in the hospital. All right, so we're going to do our deep breathing together. Come join me. Let's get centered after this full moon has wrought a little havoc. Let's breathe. Let's center again. Okay, we're going to do it 3 times together, but I want you to be doing it 5 times a day. Okay, 5 times in a row, 5 different periods during the day. Okay, that is going to help you, especially when you're first starting out and that anxiety level is way up there. Okay, we got to bring that down. We cannot just have you walking around in trauma phase, totally stressed out, traumatized, anxiety at a 10 all the time. We can't have you walking around like that. That is no good for you. It's no good for the people around you. We've got to calm that down. Doing your deep breathing 5 times a day is going to help with that tremendously. It is going to bring that anxiety level down. It's going to teach your body that you are not in danger right now. It may hurt. It may be a terrible thing that has happened to you, but you're not in current danger so that you can think a little bit better, be a little bit better on your feet, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is blow out. Inhale for 4, hold it for 7, and then we're going to blow out like we're blowing out birthday candles for a count of 8, okay? First things first, blow out, make the noise. Inhale through your nose, 2, 3, 4, hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you do your deep breathing? Does it help? It should help you. It should make you feel a little. It depends on what state you're in. If you are exhausted, it might give you a little bit of a zap of energy because all of a sudden you've got some oxygen going to your brain. Or if you are already a little bit hyped, it will bring you down a little bit, calm you, center you, because you're getting rid of that excess carbon dioxide. Your body's like, oh, we're not in danger for real. Oh, okay. And then you can sleep. So you might be yawning right now. So how do you feel when you do your deep breathing? Angela said the moon must be the reason that the people I supervise have gone nuts this week. It's been crazy. Every time, girl. Every time. It happens all the time. And just expect it. Every freaking full moon is gonna be like that for like that whole week. But you see, it'll calm down now. Like the first was when the full moon hit, and like the second, people were a little still, but like the third, okay, fine, it'll start to let up. But it is real intense ramping up into it. Okay, people start getting a little emotional, get a little volatile, people feeling themselves in that lead up to the full moon. And it's not just, people would say that, oh, that's just, but it's not. And they do the exact same thing. So, it's not just, oh, because we're the female of the species and we can just feel that. No, it's not that. It's all of us as human beings. We are all affected by it. So you might as well just, plan for it. Know that it's coming, plan for it, and expect it to be crazy at work that day. Right? All right. So the second thing, we're past our doing our deep breathing, you're gonna do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling this week? Have you been sitting down, taking your little journal? This is my newest one. This is You Are Magic. Look at that. And this is my newest journal. This one doesn't even have any lines in it, doggone it. But it doesn't matter what you're writing in. It doesn't matter what you're writing with. The whole point is to sit down and get your feelings out a couple of times a day. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking you for, first thing in the morning and the evening before you go to bed. Give your brain a little bit of time to process some things. Get some thoughts out of your head and put them down on paper. When you do that, you're making a record of them. And a lot of the time, your brain will let that thought go long enough for you to be able to rest or like get along with the rest of your day if you write it down. All right. Write down what your intentions for the day are, anything that you think might trigger you, how you're going to handle it. If surprise triggers come up, what are you going to do about it? You can give yourself a plan for the day so that you've already thought about it. It's not surprising you when something happens. You're like, oh, hey, look, I wrote down this morning that if this particular thing happened, I would react thusly. Now you know ahead of time that even if a trigger tries to sneak up on you, it can't. Okay, because you have been sitting down writing your journal, thinking about some things that could happen today, and you were ready for it. All right. And at night, before you get ready to go to bed, getting that stuff out of your head and down on the paper will make it so you can sleep a little bit better. If you're still in that phase where you're still having nightmares about them cheating, or you're coming back to having nightmares about them cheating, because it seems like it happens twice, you can get rid of a lot of those nightmares doing your journaling. Okay. So sit down, do your journal, do your journal, do your journal. Couple things you need to know: date, time, level of anxiety. That's what we need to have in every journal entry. Okay. You're dating your time. You need to be able to go back and know when things happened. Because number one, your memory is not as good as you think it is when you are on trauma. You feel all crystal clear and everything is super sharp, but it's not. I promise you it's not. It is an effective trauma. It makes you believe that you are seeing things crystal clearly when you are actually excluding lots of things from your view. All right. So if you are writing down things, you will be able to remember them better. You will be able to remember, hey, I had 5 straight good days in a row. Yeah, day 6 and day 7 sucked, but then I came back around and day 8 was great. So all in all, I have had a really good week. You can know that by writing it down. But if you don't write it down, you won't recognize that there was day after day after day that you were feeling good. And then so when the bad feeling comes up again, it feels like that's the only feeling you've had. Okay. That is why journaling is so important. You can remember the good and the bad with your journal. All right. Sit down, journal for about 5 minutes. I'm asking you for like 15, 20 minutes of self care a day. I'm not asking you for hours and hours. I'm not asking you to go get pampered and none of that. I am asking you for about 20 minutes of consistent self care a day, doing your deep breathing and doing your journaling. Can you do that? I am sure you can. Give me some likes, give me some hearts if you can do that. If you can go ahead and give yourself 20 minutes of self care a day. Because we're not going to heal with no self-care. It just does not work like that. I am sorry. We must have that. All right. So next thing is I want you to start to cultivate an attitude of gratitude, a practice of gratefulness. Okay. I want you to approach it like almost like prayer. Okay. Just every single day, at least once a day, twice a day if you can do it. I want you to just be grateful for things. I want you to be happy that you have things, okay? When we are miserable, when we are sad, we are in the midst of this trauma. The trauma tries to make it so that we don't see any good things that happen. So the good things that you have in your life that you can be grateful for, the trauma can't argue with you about those things. You know that they are things that you are to be grateful for. So even in the midst of the trauma, even in the throes of it, it cannot convince you that the things that you are grateful for, the things that you have in your life that are good, are not good. Okay. So then you can start to see things a little bit more clearly. The trauma wants you to see things as terrible all the time. Everything is a misery. Everything is bad. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. That is what the trauma wants you to think, because then that makes you back away from people. It makes you shrink. It makes you not reach out, not be open, not be vulnerable. But that's where all of our growth comes from, is being open and being vulnerable and reaching out. So we cannot do that. We cannot allow our brains to let us do that. All right. We've got to reach out. We've got to stretch ourselves. And so the key number one way to do that, to battle against those negative thoughts, is to think of things that you're grateful for. So that's why I do Thirsty Thursday every single week in the group. I like to hear good stuff that is happening for you. I want to hear your good news. I want to be a part of celebrating that good news with you, because I'm happy when you are happy. Okay. So on my Thirsty Thursday post, I have some comments. Let's see. Lori, I'll start with Lori. Hey, Lori. Lori said, I'm grateful for my part-time side hustle where I can make an impact. Coach sent you a message. She did send me a message about that. We are talking about that as we speak. Um, Joni. Joni says, my son and his girlfriend are buying their first home on Friday and moving in on Saturday. Then his girlfriend is having my first grandchild, which is a little boy, in the next few days. That is what is making me happy right now. Girl, all of that to be grateful for. Oh, Lori's over here hustling. You're over here about to be a grandma for the first time. I'm so jealous. I cannot wait. I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to get my hands on grandbabies. I don't want any more mom. I have decided. I had a boy and a girl of my own, and I was like, okay, I got the whole set. There's no need for me to deliver anymore. I'm good. But I can't wait for grandbabies. My son says he's having lots of kids. My daughter says she's not having any. So we'll see how that goes. All right, fantastic. And see, that's the thing about sharing good news. When you share good news, light is never diminished by sharing. You cannot make it darker by sharing your candle flame. Okay, so if something good is happening, talk about the good. Okay, remember that it's good. Talk about it just as fervently as you talk about what is going on that is negative and bad in your life. If you are consistently looking for the positive, your brain will get out of emergency mode. Your brain will realize that, oh no, it's not just the trauma. We have a life to live besides that. Okay, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be looking for the good stuff. We're supposed to be seeking pleasure, not just avoiding pain. Once you can remind your brain of that, it will start to pick up on the slack. It will start to recognize that, oh, wait, I need to be looking for the good and not the bad. And it won't be so hard to battle against it, but you have to start. You have to start somewhere, and attitude of gratitude is a great place to start. Okay. All right. Next thing. And the last thing, which I tell everybody, and I don't know, I don't think people believe me. I don't think people believe me about it, but I really want you to do it. Okay. I want you to stop asking these questions. Okay. I know. Every book, every therapist, everybody says, oh, you're supposed to be able to ask as many questions as you want. You're supposed to be able to talk about it with your mate as much as you need to. I am here to tell you that's not the way trauma operates. You are not going to get your fill of questions. Your trauma wants to know every minute detail, okay? And when it gets every single solitary minute detail, you know what it's going to do? It's going to turn right back around and start all over at the beginning, thus re traumatizing yourself. You're constantly thinking about all the details of the trauma. I am asking you to stop doing that. I am asking you not to do that. I am asking you not to talk about it. I am asking you to put it down. Stop asking those questions that you don't need the answers for. I know you think you do. I know your brain is screaming at you that you need these answers to be able to heal. I am calling shenanigans on that. That is not true. That is not true at all. You do not need these answers to help you heal. As a matter of fact, they are more of a hindrance to your healing because they create more memories of more trauma. So if you get all of these answers that you are seeking, you will have more trauma to heal. So let's not do that. Okay. All right. That's I just can, if you've heard me say this before, if it's better without you asking the questions, let me know. All right. I want to hear about it. Oh, Angela's got some Thirsty Thursday. Yay. My husband got a new job in the country and the county I'm working in. Oh, yay. Gets him farther away from the town that it happened in. My daughter finished her first semester of nursing school. Oh, now. And my 17-year-old is working as a dispatcher at the ambulance service in the county we are going to move to. Plus, he's in EMT school. And he starts his senior year of high school on August 14th. Girl, you got like a whole family full of public servants. You got a whole family full of people just working for the community. I see you, girl. I see you over there. You got the whole family doing the same type of thing. I'm feeling you. Oh, she's gonna be a nurse. It's exciting. It's so exciting. Get new things going on. Good things still happen. Just because this is traumatizing, just because it wasn't a great week last week, doesn't mean that good things aren't still rolling along. They're not right there on the horizon. Okay? Good. Let's see. I was going to say, oh, the question thing. All right. So back to that. Okay, you got to leave it alone. Okay. I love y'all. I really do. And I know that you want to hear it. I know that you want all the details. I know that it feels like, well, if he doesn't confess all, then he's just still lying. But I am not worried about him lying. I am worried about your mental health, your well being. I'm worried about your ability to be able to heal. And it is always easier to heal if you don't have all those questions answered in your head. If you don't have ammo to use against him, you are going to feel a lot better. All right. And you already got plenty of ammo. Damn. He is wrong. He cheated. He is wrong as two left feet. It doesn't matter about the details. We know the basics of it is you cheated. That's what we know. There's no real need to go all in depth and in detail about exactly what happened. That's just more painful for you. You already know the big thing. He cheated. Okay, that's the part that we're healing from. If you keep on asking all the questions, you create a whole bunch of different things that you have to try and heal yourself from. And waste of time. Waste of time. It really is. All right. Because you didn't have to ask that question in the first place to break that part of you. And then you're blaming him for breaking it. But then, he can't fix it. So then you're in this big cycle of, well, you don't care enough to fix what you broke. but he didn't have to break it in the first place because you didn't have to ask that question. All right. So we know the basics. We know the real deal. Your brain, when you're on trauma, wants to find answers to things because it thinks that, well, if I know the answers, then this won't happen again. I can protect her. She will be okay if I have all the answers to this. Okay. And I don't know, maybe our brains really think that that's true, but it's not true. Okay. Number one, you can't stop this from happening. You are not capable of mind reading enough and having enough information to be able to anticipate somebody cheating on you and knowing exactly what is going on in their brain to make them do such a thing. You don't have that ability no matter how many questions you ask. Okay. But more than that, I forgot what I was going to say. It's a big point because that distracted me because it's a big point. You cannot prevent this from happening. You really can't. It is not something that you are in control of. But your brain will want to ask you these questions and it itches sometimes. It wants to ask a whole bunch of different questions to kind of test things out, to poke at things, to prod at things, to make you feel like you are doing something to heal without actually healing. Okay. So instead of asking those terrible questions when your brain is itching and it wants to know something, try something a little bit different. This is a better way to go about it. Now I'm saying if you can limit to no questions, do that. But this is a good one. This is this is the one that I use. I've been giving you cards from this for years now. This question and answer is for the healing edition. And this is 199 questions that you can sit down and ask your mate. There's a couple of them that are fill in the blank, but you can sit down and talk back and forth. Deal out like 3 cards. You do not need a ton of them, okay? You can get a couple of hours of conversation out of 3 cards if you go ahead and do it right, nice and slow, go in depth, talk about it a little bit. You can get a couple hours of conversation out of this thing. So don't think that you have to ask a whole bunch of questions. Look for the quality of the questions. Try and really hear what is being said and see if you can see things from their perspective, and it will start to help you communicate a little bit better. All right. So I'll give you a couple of questions. First thing is, how do we succeed together? And what does that mean to you? That's a good question, right? How do we succeed together? Where are we failing and what can we do better to not fail, to succeed? And then what does success even mean? What does that mean to you? Does success mean that we just roommates? Does success mean that we are happy and a healthy, happy couple and all in love? Like, what does it mean for you for us to be successful? It's a good question. That's a better question than what position did you have sex with her in, right? Way less painful, much more information that is useful for your future. So instead of the terrible questions, try and fill in one of these. All right. Another one is, what is surprising you most about this conversation so far? Right? Well, that's a good question. This is like the second or third question. This is a good one. What is surprising you most about this conversation so far? That's a good question to ask. That will give you some good quality answers, that will show you how they're thinking so much better than the stuff that you want to ask. And then one more. What should we do more of and why? That's a great look at that. 3 excellent questions back to back to back. What should we do more of and why? Right? Simple. Doesn't have to be anything about the cheating. It could be something different about your relationship, but it's a good thing to talk about. It's something besides the cheating that you still have in common that you can talk about, you can chat about. All right. So much, much better. I want you to do that if you can help yourself. Instead of asking questions, go on Amazon and get that for yourself. I think it's like $35 now. All right. All right. Any questions now? Comments, thoughts, complaints, anything so far? I got a few questions already on the post, I see. And we are going to chat about those. But let me know if you have any questions, anything going on, anything you want to ask me. I am here for you for the rest of the hour just to answer your questions. I want to help you. I don't want you to feel like you're stuck, you know? Somebody asked me earlier today, they're like, well, he won't confess. He won't admit everything. He won't just say that he did it, but he's doing everything that I want him to do. Okay, well, let's start with that. Let's start with that. The whole confession thing, he may feel like, you're in it right now, but because you don't know for sure if I did it. But now once you know for sure that I did it, you might be gone. You might be running out the door. So let's accept a little bit of penance first. Let's accept him doing the things right for a little while and see if we can all heal a little bit better and get to a place where it's like it's safer to talk about it. Right now, it's not safe to talk about it. When you are in the throes of all the emotional stuff, it's not safe for you to talk about it with one another because it's too easy to have an extreme overreaction or a miscommunication, and then one of you is out the door. So I say a lot of the time you're gonna have to leave that alone. Now you know me. The whys. I have explained to you the whys. A lot of the time you can figure out what his why was better than he can. You can probably explain it and fill in the blanks a little bit better than he can to start off with anyway. So you really don't need a whole bunch of input on him from him about why this happened and what happened. You don't need all that. All right. Oh, let's see. All right, a few comments. Let's see what we got here. Robin asked about emotional cheating, lusting and desire feelings for someone you can't actually be with on video chat. Now, I think that there are actually two different versions of this, okay? I think that there is a version where it is porn, where you're paying somebody for their time to be the fantasy, to interact with you, and I feel like that stays in the porn category. And then there is we have met online and we are talking to each other video chat. Now we don't want to actually like get with each other in real life because that would be really cheating, but if we talk then that's just not such a big deal. That's the way they think about it. I think it's kind of those two camps, and I'm not sure which camp it was in, because some women feel like the porn thing is emotional cheating when I can pretty much guarantee you it's not with men. Not with men. The porn thing, using somebody, paying somebody to do what you want online, that is a different thing from, oh, they're all into this person and they are having these intimate conversations on the phone, or online or a video chat or whatever. It's they wouldn't consider it emotional cheating with the porn. They might consider it emotional cheating with the person that they like talk to in real life. Lusting and desiring feelings for someone you can't actually be with on video chat. Now, I think that all people have lust and desire for people that are not their mates. I think that everybody has that. We are all equipped with eyes. We are all equipped with, all of the functions that would make us attracted to other people. So I feel like lust, desire, that's not really something that we can necessarily help feeling. Now, what you do about it is another thing. Now, if you're lusting and desiring after this woman and you're chasing after her and you're just doing video chat sex just because you feel like that's not cheating, it's still cheating. Okay, it's still cheating. All right, that's still what it is. You are getting all emotionally fixed by this, and then adding in the physical component, even though the physical component is not physical, even though you're not actually together. Eventually, it probably will be. All right. When it's somebody that they're paying, that their chances of them ever meeting them in real life are just zero. Okay. That's not what they're there for. That other person, if it's porn and they're getting paid for it, they are not interested in meeting your man in person. That is not what they are there for. They are there doing their job. Okay. I think that the emotional cheating comes in when it's somebody that you just found online and you've had this connection with. Like I said, you can't help having connection with people because we are people. We are designed to connect with people and not just with one person. Now, we can be monogamous. Yes, we can. But it's not necessarily the most natural state of us as animals. So even when we are monogamous, we can still see people we are attracted to, feel attracted to somebody else. That does not mean that the person does not love you. Okay. That doesn't mean that. When we are falling in love, all right, we have this surge of chemicals. We have the serotonin and the dopamine, and things are just flowing and it feels good. Okay. The emotional cheating is all about that. It's all about that first falling in love feeling, getting your brain to pump out all those excess chemicals, and it's like a drug high. All right. So I would consider emotional cheating like that. There was something that was painful. And when those feelings, those emotions came along, and started flooding their brain with chemicals, it was like, oh my God, the pain has stopped. It was never about that other person. Okay. They may have attached to this other person. They may have felt like, oh, well, this is the person that inspired those feelings. But those feelings don't come from other people, they come from inside our own brains. So, whatever was going on that made him feel like he wanted to be emotionally attached to somebody else, that came from pain. That was some sort of pain that he was trying to numb with that feeling of, ooh, I feel so good to be all involved with you and all wrapped up in you, and oh, we're having video chat sex. That's what that is for. So to try and understand it, to try and give some compassion for it, to understand that if a person suddenly gets that spurt of hormones going and it feels better than it has been feeling, a lot of people will follow that pleasure. Okay. A lot of people will do it. Hurt people hurt people. That's what happened here with him emotionally cheating. Even if it wasn't physical, it was all the same things. That feeling that something is wrong within him, some type of pain is existing. And then, oh, this person got my brain chemicals going. And oh, this is such an intense feeling. And it feels so much better than the pain that I was in. All right. So if you want to forgive them, you have to forgive them for the pain. You have to forgive them for being weak, for being an addict, is what it is, for searching out the thing that will stop the pain. And that's all this was. It's emotional cheating, getting all wrapped up in emotionally. It was something to dull the pain that they were feeling. So that's how I feel about that particular subject, about the whole, video chat thing. I, you cannot help feeling lust, or you can't help feeling desire for other people. It's just all about what you do about it. And he did not do the right thing. That's absolutely so. But I think that that is born from a place of pain. I don't think that that is born from a place of, oh, I just don't care about my relationship, or I just don't love my woman. I don't think that that's where that comes from. Okay. That makes sense. Let me know. Rhea wants to talk about pain shopping. Girl, that's the only kind of shopping I do not like. Okay. We have got to stop with the pain shopping. Okay. Pain shopping is when you keep on looking for something wrong. Okay. That's why practice of gratitude is so important, because you fix your mind on looking for the positive instead of looking for the negative. But the pain shopping is going through his phone, testing him to see what he will do, all of that type of stuff. It is a reaction to trauma. Your brain wants to prove to you that this person is the source of all pain in the universe. They are just horrible for you. You should stay far, far away from them. And look what kind of pain they can cause you. So you make up tests in your brain and you put them to the test, and they don't know that they're being tested. So of course they fail, because everybody who doesn't know they're being tested fails. And you are caught up in trying so hard to prove that they're terrible, that they're just a horrible person. They never really cared about you. They never really loved you. That's what the pain shopping is really about, is to try and reinforce all of the pain that you've been feeling so much that you do not believe anything good about them anymore. Does that make sense? So you got to stop that. Put his damn phone down. Oh, for crying out loud. I say it every day. Put the phone down. First of all, it doesn't belong to you. Let's go back to kindergarten. Don't touch things that don't belong to you. Second of all, it does not help you. If it helped you, I'd say do it. Okay. But it doesn't. It ends up starting a fight over something that you probably misunderstood. And then you can't admit that that's the case because you're still so angry and so wound up. And then they're angry and wound up and they're not reacting the way that you want them to. So then you're getting more and more disappointed and frustrated. It's a terrible cycle. Okay. As much as you possibly can, don't look for the worst. Put the phone down. Don't go looking through phone bills. Don't go trying to poke at peace. Accept peace. Let it be okay. Allow that healing to happen. I was a nurse for 20 years. One of my favorite sayings, you can't heal a wound if you keep sticking your fingers in it. Okay? That's what pain shopping is. That is, ooh, hey, look, there's a big massive wound. Let me dig my fingers down in and see what I can see down in there. That's what you're doing when you're pain shopping. So don't do that. Okay? Get your grubby fingers out of the wound. Stop messing with yourself. All right? That makes sense? Hope so. Hope so. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anybody talking. Okay. Ria, okay, there you go. Hi. Hi. Yeah, see, I was just answering. I never heard that phrase before. I'm in an angry phase and I don't know how to get out of it. Well, yeah, that's what the pain shopping is about. You're angry because you're hurt. Always, almost always, when you sit down with your anger and you talk to your anger for a little while, it takes off the mask and it's like, oh, guess what, I was really paying all along. That's usually what it is. It's the pain makes you angry. All right, so you're angry about the fact that this is even your life. You're angry that this is your story and you didn't want it to be your story, but we don't get to pick our story. We don't get to do that. We get handed the story that we are handed, and we have to behave our way out of the situations that we find ourselves in. So instead of trying to start an argument, sitting there focusing on the negative pain, negative thoughts that are going through your brain, looking through their phone, checking the GPS every 5 minutes and seeing where they are. Instead of doing that, you must take your mind off of the trauma. Instead of focusing all that attention onto it and expecting, something bad to happen, you need to be looking in a different direction, looking for good things. Does that make sense? Let me know. When you start looking for the good, the angry starts to go away. When you start looking for the positive, when you start correcting yourself, even the act of your brain is going off, it's mumbling about something and it's getting more and more worked up, and you say, hey, no, that's true. I do not like that thought. I do not agree with that thought. I do not think that I have any room for that thought in my life. I want a different thought. I am going to believe something positive here, not something negative. That is what I'm choosing. It actually takes it like you have to be saying it out loud. As much as you've been talking about the pain, you have to be talking about getting out of pain. Okay. As much as you've been talking about that pain you're in, you've got to be talking about good things, about feeling good, doing good, existing in a good space, just that much. It's so easy to fall into talking about the bad all the time. It's so easy to say. It rolls right off of your tongue because it's right there. It's right at the surface. But the good things in your life are still there. They're just down a little bit because the bad things are at the surface right now. You got to dig deep. You got to look for the good. We got to just decide that we don't want to keep on having our brain function this way. When you tell your brain what you want it to think, it will start to think those thoughts, but you must be consistent. You cannot think a million terrible thoughts and then say, oh no, brain, I want you to think good things all the time. And say that to your brain one time during the day. Okay. And every other million negative thoughts, you let those pass by. You let your brain just think those things without a problem. Every single time you have a negative thought, You need to stop it. You need to question it. You need to say, hey, that is not useful to me. That is not giving me anything. That is not helping me in any way, shape, or form. And if it's not a help right now, it's a hindrance. So I'm not going to continue to carry around that thought. That's not a thought we are going to keep on agreeing with. And then every time that thought pops up, you say the same thing. You say the exact opposite of whatever the thought is telling you. Okay. You have to be fighting the same way that you spend all this time on the negative. You have to spend time on the positive. Does that make sense? That's not like you enjoy this. I know. Nobody does. It's just automatic. That's what it is. It's automatic going to the negative, going to the angry, going to the hurt. Okay. That's an automatic response to trauma. You don't have to do anything to do that. So it seems like it's just the most natural state, but that is the emergency state that you are in. And we cannot continue to live life in the emergency state. You will burn yourself right on out. Okay. We have got to get back to living normal life with normal rules, not just that high anxiety life that the trauma has produced. Does that make sense? Hope it does. Carissa said, that's the issue I'm facing right now. My mind keeps going down the scary and sad road, and I'm not able to stop from obsessing about him and what he's doing and all the what ifs. Okay. The trick for what if, the what if. The problem with the what if is it is a distraction tactic by your brain to keep you in the traumatized state. When you are thinking, well, what if, then your blood pressure is going up and your heart rate is going up. And you are actually not thinking it out. You are just experiencing, well, oh, what if this happened? Then I would be in pain and I would be feeling emotionally like this. But answer the question. Try it like that. Answer the question. What if he is out running around with somebody right now? Well, I would eventually find out and we can figure out what to do from there. That's the answer to that what if. You don't have to sit there and wonder about what if. You can answer the question. Okay? Does that make sense? It's hard because what happens is you will go from one what if to another what if to another what if. You never answer the questions. And so it feels like this enormous amount of anxiety because you're like, oh, all of these things that I don't have the answer to that could be so terrible and could hurt me so bad. But you have choices about what happens with those things. You can answer the what if and decide what happens right now. So you don't have to worry about the what ifs. Answer the question that your brain is asking. Well, what if X happens? Okay, well, what if it does happen? I am still standing on my feet when it happened from the last time. I am still going about my life. I am still the same badass queen that I was before it ever happened. So is it going to change me? No. Might hurt? Yeah, maybe. But can I handle it? Sure. That's all you need to do. That's constantly talking to yourself. All right. Chris says that I'm at 100% in the emergency state and I'm exhausted. Makes sense. It does because that's all your brain wants. Your brain wants to keep you in that emergency state because then you're always looking out. You're always looking for the pain. You're always making sure that nothing bad is going to hurt us. But that hurts. So there's no need to do it. It's an absolutely pointless exercise to be sitting there and stressing out and anxious and angry and constantly thinking the worst thing that could happen. It's pointless. All right. You can't stop bad things from happening to you. It's impossible. Your brain obsessing over it is just an obsession. You can tell your brain, hey, we cannot stop bad things from happening. I'm sorry, brain, but I know that when something bad happens, you're going to be able to handle it just fine. We are going to handle it together. It is not a big deal. And that's what you tell yourself because that is the reality of the situation. You will survive this. You have survived 100% of your bad days thus far. 100% of them. You're not doing bad. Your record is excellent. Okay. You can indeed say to your brain, hey, we'll handle it like we did the last time. It's fine. It's all right. Things happen in this life. We will be okay. That's the answer that you're looking for. Rhea, you say you can list a million things that are negative, but you can't think of much positive. Exactly. That's why the practice of gratitude helps so much. That's why journaling helps so much. Write down the good things as they happen, and then you can't. Your brain can't like block you from remembering them anymore because that's what's happening. Your brain is blocking you from good stuff. It's like, no, 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 that good stuff that doesn't really exist. That's a mirage. Don't think about that. It's all negative. Everything is terrible. Always feel like that. And it's like, no, no, that's not real life. Real life doesn't work like that. Real life is not always awful. It's not like that at all. Real life has good points to it too. So we got to start looking for those good points. So other than journaling, my anger, I don't know what else to do. And here I'm supposed to think of 2 positive attributes every day. We're supposed to talk about it. I find it extremely hard. But you know him and you have positive attributes that you have experienced with him that made you want to do this in the first place. If you didn't know anything positive about him, you wouldn't be doing this. That's your brain is trying to block you from information that I know that you know. All right. So come on, give me 2. Go ahead and give me 2 just for today. Think about it for a second. Not, oh, this is the perpetrator. Not he is the person that hurt me. He's the one that made me the victim. No, he's my king. He is my love, my beloved. He is my person. There is a reason that he is that to you. There is a reason why no matter how angry you are still willing to work it out for this person. You didn't miss anything. All right. You weren't completely nuts about this person. You had good reason. I don't believe everybody always acts like, oh, well, he just fooled me from the very beginning. No, no, nobody can do that. All right. Nobody can completely fool you about everything that they are. Okay. You can see things about a person, even in their worst moments, that make you say, okay, this is a good person. This is a person that I want in my life. This is a person I love. You got to remember those things. You got to like bring them back to mind. Go back to like when you first started being with them. Why him? Why was it him in the first place? I bet you that reason is still accurate. Let's see. Chrissy said that makes sense. Good, good. I'm in such high anxiety and I've literally lost a third of my hair. Oh yeah, my hair fell out too. And I'm breaking out all over the place, et cetera, et cetera. I'll try answering the what ifs. Mostly is what if he doesn't ever come back? If he doesn't, then he doesn't. Okay. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Because they tend to come back. They tend to wander right on back. Okay. And most of the time. It's very, very rare. They'll be like, screw it, and they'll just walk out the door and just never come back. It doesn't happen a lot. A lot of men think that they would want a different life. And it's not about you at all. It's about them. It's about what they think their life is supposed to be like. And then they get out in the world and they're like, oh, this is not what I was thinking about either. And they come on home. So, what if he doesn't ever come back? Let's not focus on what if he doesn't come back. Let's focus on I am going to do everything that I possibly can to be ready when he comes back. All right. Rhea, he is a gentleman and he is silly. See, look, you remembered. It's hard to remember sometimes, but that trauma will try and block you like that. Don't let it do that. You know this person. The first time I ever talked to my husband on the phone, okay, first of all, I met him on a chat line, all right? And he took my breath away. The first time I heard his voice, he's got this deep voice. And the first time I heard his voice, I could barely breathe. I mean, the entire universe just seemed to shift on its axis for me. So I was like, oh, ooh, this is the one. And he was talking and he sounded so intelligent. And I was like, oh, I think this is a person that I could talk to because I'm a pretty intelligent chick. I'm not saying that, I can't talk to people who aren't as intelligent as I am, but as far as like a mate for life, I wanted somebody that I could be able to talk to freely and not have to dumb myself down to be able to talk to them. And that's what he brought me. Okay. He brought me excellent conversation. I talked to this man for 3 freaking hours on the phone. The first time I had ever spoken to him, didn't know what he looked like, couldn't tell him from Adam, but the conversation was great. All right. That's one thing about him. right now. Anybody that knows him, they love talking to him. People love to talk to my husband. He'll tell you something different. He'll tell you something from a different perspective that you never would have thought of before talking to him. All right. That was the very first thing. Made me start to fall in love with him almost instantaneously. And then, then I met him and then I saw him. And oh boy, that was a praise the Lord moment right there. That was a moment of feeling like there was a God and God saw me and knew exactly what I wanted. And he was like, here you go. That was what that moment was, laying eyes on him for the first time. So, there are good things about your mate. Even before all of this happened, there were things that just touched your heart that made you want to open up to them. So remember those things, okay? Carissa, you said I'm going to do everything I can to be ready for when he comes back. I like that a lot. Thank you. You're welcome. And that it's like because you're gonna have to let go of some of the anger. You're gonna have to let go of some of the anger. You're gonna have to think positively. You're gonna have to change the way your brain is working. You got to work through that grief process that your brain wants you to work through. But we need to be thinking about the good things. We need to be believing the best of the person that we love. Because isn't that the whole point? We got this one person that we want to believe the best of, that we want to be with for the rest of our lives. We're going to have to think good things about them. We're going to have to believe that they will do the right things. Okay. Me and my husband were talking about his bipolar disorder. And we were just driving along talking about it. And, I told him, I was like, once you figured out that there was something wrong, like you were on top of it. You were like, okay, let me start working on it. And you started working on it, and I could see you working on it piece by piece. And that just gave me the encouragement that I was doing the right thing, forgiving you and starting to move forward. And so then when that happened, then you started doing your part, and then I could do my part a little bit more freely, and then you could do your part a little bit more freely, and we got to the place where he's better. Like, he doesn't even have to have any medication, to be able to manage this mental disorder. He's worked on it to the point where, he knows, okay, I can't drink 3 cups of coffee a day. I can't do that. It's going to make me manic. It's going to make me not sleep. It's going to make me psychotic eventually. Okay, so I can't do that. And he has learned the things that he can and cannot do. But until it was just like, until he knew that it was going to be okay between the two of us, he wasn't really caring so much about the mental health part. He was only really worried about, well, am I going to run you away? And, once I could show him, I'm like, no, you're not running me away. No. This is my happily ever after. You're not getting to just run me off from what I want in my life. Once that was in place and he saw that I started to heal, then he started to heal himself. So when you start to heal, you heal everything. Okay. It is important for you to heal. It is super important for you to heal, not for him to fix it, for you to heal. Okay, that is the big point here. You all can do that, and you can do that all on your own. You don't need any help for it. Well, you could use some help for it. I'm willing to give you help for it, but you don't need his help for it. Okay, you can get to a better place, and then as you do that, better places open up around you. You become a better place, and you open yourself up to a better place, and then better places just start to appear around you. So it is a good thing to work on your part first, and then let everything kind of fall into place after that. All right. Let's see. Anybody else? Let's see. Joni had posts up here. Okay. All right, posts that you see from the AP. This one was awful day for me. Her post was about my missing husband and her heart. WTF and how she can't erase it from the heart. From my heart. Okay, not her, not her. Okay. Well, you know what? Okay, first of all, stop following the AP. Immediately, everybody within the sound of my voice, I need you to go and unfollow the AP, okay? I need you to unfollow them, unfriend them, if you need to, unfriend several people around them so you can stop seeing them. Okay, you got to stop looking. You got to stop looking at their life, because what you're doing is comparing your life to theirs. You are looking at online, trying to compare your real life to their online life. There's no need. Okay. It's going to just stress you. Everything they say is going to stress you out. It is that reaction to look for the AP, to look for them, to watch them on social media, to look at their stories, to do all of that stalkery behavior. You know what that comes from? Again, trauma response. Okay. You, in the midst of a trauma, will look for the danger. Have you ever, middle of the night, saw a spider creeping around in your room? Doesn't that disturb all the rest of your night's sleep? Aren't you going to wake up and turn the lights on and try and find that spider? You are consistently, even if you can't find it, even if you're okay, like, okay, I got to go to bed, and you lay down in your bed, you are still scanning the room for that spider. Okay. That is what is happening when you're doing that with the AP. When you are looking at her posts, reading what she's got to say, you are taking her as a threat. You are saying that she is something dangerous to you and that you need to keep an eye on her. Even though it upsets you, even though it stresses you out to be able to read what she says, it's going to be necessary for you to hold on to watching what they do because you are so traumatized by them. And I am here to say, do the opposite. Okay. If your brain is screaming at you to look, go see what she's doing, go to see what she was saying, that is the last thing you need to do. I promise you. Whatever is screaming in your head is not the thing to do. Whatever is screaming in your head is the fear. It's the fear and the anger and the pain talking. That's what's screaming at you. So if you are just bound and determined and your body is just screaming and saying that you should do the thing, don't do the thing. Okay? If your brain is like, you got to go look at her page, you need to block her. You need to erase her from your life all the way around, because watching the spider doesn't make the spider go away. Okay. If there's a spider in your room, there's still a spider in your room, even if you're watching and you don't see it. Okay. So watching it is just driving you nuts. Everybody that's with me right this second, if you are here with me and you haven't done so thus far, I need you to go and unfollow, disconnect from, unfriend the AP. Okay. Is everybody hearing me on that? Are you with me on that at least? Let me know. Joni said a friend found it and shared it and triggered me so badly. I blocked her. Good, 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 good. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, it's always the friends coming up with this crap. Okay, everybody got to have a conversation with your friends too. Look, I am trying to heal. I am trying to reconcile. I don't need anything that will trigger me. Don't talk to me about it. Don't send me messages about it. If I start talking to you about it, stop me. Okay? I am not going to keep on digging into this and being all sad about this forever and ever. So we need to come up with a plan. So you need to talk to your friends, okay? Talk to your friends, tell them you don't want to know, okay? Don't send me a screenshot. I don't want to know. Okay? You're a very good friend. Thank you so much for thinking of me, but don't do that. All right. Ria, what comes after the anger stage? Oh, the anger stage is like the stage in between all of the stages. It's like you get a little healing, then you get a little pissed again. Then you get a little healing, then you get a little pissed again. So, okay, let's not look for after the anger. Okay. Let's focus on when I do feel the anger, this is what I do. This is the positive things that I do about it instead of the negative things that the anger wants me to do. Come up with a plan for that. That is helpful. But after, you are really able to start letting some of the anger go, that's when um, you start feeling other things. There's a lot of things if as you're healing, you're reconciling. The one that is the most important that I think really does come from the anger kind of burning everything away is humility. It's understanding that this is something that you would have no idea about, and everybody that's telling you how to handle it probably doesn't know how to handle it either. And just trying so hard to be trusting and put yourself out there and believe that you can indeed do something like this, that you can heal from this, that it doesn't have to be forever that you feel this bad. A lot of the time it's the anger and the that kind of burns other things away, and you come to that humble point where you recognize that you don't know what you don't know, and you need better help. You can't keep going about it the way you've been going about it, and the things that people are telling you suck. So it's like that's the next stage, that humility stage of understanding that you don't really understand exactly how to do this. You may think that you know, but you don't. And so just getting that grip on that, I think that is the part that really gets exposed after the anger. It's realizing that you can handle this, but probably not the way that other people would say that you should. That makes sense. Joni, I need to get to the point that I can look in the mirror and say I'm better than her. No, Joni, you do not. You don't need to compare yourself to her at all. It needs to not be, oh, I am better than somebody else. It needs to be, I am a damn queen all by myself. No comparison to anyone. There is no comparing me because I am in a class all by myself. I am diva. I am divine. I am goddess. I am not comparative to anybody else. There's no need for me to look around for somebody to match myself up with because I'm in a whole nother league. That is the part where you start to feel really good about yourself. It's not about feeling better than anybody else. I don't feel like I am better than anybody else, but I am a damn queen in and of my own right. Okay. And as we are here, as we are working, okay, I consider you all my subjects. Okay. I am a benevolent queen, but I am the queen in this moment. Okay. So don't compare yourself to anyone. It is about how you feel about yourself, not how you feel about other people. Does that make sense? Because you don't have to be better than her. We don't have to be better than anybody else. We just have to be enough for ourselves. We don't have to be better than anything or anybody else. And better than is saying, okay, better than according to you, better than according to her, or better than according to your man. Like, which one of those better thans are you looking for? You know what I mean? Like, it gets too complicated trying to worry about if you're better than somebody else. Carissa said, yes, I got a photo yesterday morning of his truck in her drive from a friend. I thought they were ending and she wanted to prove to me that he was there at 2 a.m. Like, why is your friend? See, yeah, I know. Friends, they try really hard, but that's not helpful. It's not helping you at all. That's not lending you any helpfulness, any peace of mind. It's not helping you at all. It's just making you stressed out and anxious. Yeah, make sure you tell them, like, look, don't send me shit. Okay, there's no need for that. Don't send me pictures. Don't send me things that are gonna stress me out. I don't need it. Cause that's not what you're. I mean, yeah, you know already. Jeez, it's not like you don't know. It's not like you are unaware. Lord, it just people just like to stir the pot. I think that's all it is. People just like to have their fingers in there, and and they see your wound. They think they should put their fingers in your wound too. I try and keep everybody as much as I possibly can, like, out of my business, as much as humanly possible. Like my mother, like I didn't even really tell her about like the fact that he had bipolar disorder and the PTSD and all of that. I didn't tell her about that until years later. Okay, she did not know everything that was going on. She knew something was going on, but she didn't know all that was going on with us. And so I try and keep it like that. I try and keep our business, because as soon as you tell somebody else, they feel like you are giving them a key to open up your private business whenever they feel like it. And no, we are not going to live like that. No. So yeah, just let her know. Be like, I appreciate you trying to help me, but that's not a helpful thing to do. All right. So let's see. Was there any other questions? I think I got all the questions. You got any other ones for me? Anybody got anything else they want to talk about? Anything else you want to hear me go over? Rhea, you asked me about the anger stage. I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about the stages of healing this thing. All right, I'll tell you about the stages that we feel, because anger is actually not a specific stage in the healing. Anger kind of just colors a lot of the healing. But the first stage is the devastation phase. You hear this news and you are you sink to the floor, all your marbles fly out everywhere. You can't get yourself together. You can't get yourself up on your knees, even to stand anymore. Then there's the regulation phase. Regulation is, okay, I'm starting some bones back. I'm starting to gather my marbles up off the floor. Slowly but surely, I'm bringing myself up to my knees. I'm starting to crawl up to my feet. I'm starting to get a little bit stable. These emotions are not drowning me every single solitary day anymore. Then there is the recreation phase, which is recreating your relationship with your mate. Okay. Like all through these, there can be anger in all of these phases, but the recreation phase should be pretty good place for you. You'll feel like this is when you're allowing the healing to happen. You're letting down the walls. You're getting closer again. You're allowing yourself to feel good things about them again. Then we got the celebration phase. The celebration phase is, sorry. Celebration phase is when we can finally put it behind us. We can say that we're closing this chapter of the book. We are moving on from here. We're going to have our vow renewal. We're going to get new rings. We're going to do this, that, and the third, Sorry. Hella dry there. All right. And then the last phase after that celebration phase is inspiration phase. It's one thing to heal from this. It is another thing to tell your story. All right. You will know that you are fully and completely healed when you're able to tell this story to somebody else without feeling all embarrassed, without feeling all sad about it, without feeling like you did something wrong, without hurting over it. When you can tell your story and it doesn't make you cry, that is when you're truly healed. So I want you to become an inspiration. I want you to heal from this completely and get to your feet. And then all of a sudden, you're going to realize that other women around you are going through the exact same thing that you did. And hey, I can be an inspiration. I can tell you how I did this. Look, it's actually not even that hard. Here's what I did step by step. Let me inspire you that you can do it too. Okay. That's the phases for me. There may be some anger sprinkled in everywhere in that even in the inspiration phase, angry that you have to be an inspiration. But we don't get to choose the card we're dealt. And if this is your person and this is the hand you were dealt, you got to make the best of it. All right. Carissa, she says she isn't supportive of me taking him back, so she's trying to show me tough love. Oh no. Oh, see, this is what I'm saying. Why does she feel like she has to be the one to teach you a lesson? Oh hell no. No. I don't involve her in anything anymore. When it first happened, I told too many people and I regret it. Yeah. Because at first it feels like, oh, I need to tell everybody, but then you forget about the fact that you may want to stay. And then it's like, oh hell, I've told everybody now. Everybody knows. Shoot, they're gonna make it really hard for me to stay. And you say you have a question. We are going to assume he is coming home someday. He works with the other woman. Do I need to make a boundary of him getting a new job so he doesn't see her? No, you don't. Because what would that do? He could see her. He could still see her. He could still very easily see her. If he came home and you were like, you have to work at another job. Okay, he's going to be real resentful about that, number one. And then he could still just see her anyway. So you made him change jobs for absolutely no reason. That doesn't stop anybody who really wants to cheat. If they wanted to cheat, then you telling them to change jobs doesn't do anything. That's always a hard one too, especially if you're in a position where that would be a hardship for him to move a job. That happens with a lot of people. It'd be like a real hardship for him to stop working one place, find a new job, go somewhere else. I feel like you should not have to create extra hardship on top of this. If you can keep your incomes steady and not have that be a problem, because those are the top two things that cause divorces, is the cheating and money problems. So if you add a money problem on top of cheating, you're making yourself even more likely to get a divorce. So you're making it so that you're more likely not to be together. So I say, go ahead, just work on you being together, working on trusting him to be appropriate and do the right things, even around women, because you're going to have to do that eventually. He cannot just be out here in the world and you don't trust him to be around any other women. That's not going to work as a relationship. So even if he is still in the same place, and let me just say this. I'm a little petty. Okay. And I feel like you should have to stay. I feel like they should have to stay for a little while. I feel like you should be uncomfortable. I feel like you should have to feel like you got to tiptoe around this person because you was feeling pretty free before. And now I'm mad. You better not have any interactions with them that looks a little suspect. So I want you walking on eggshells a little bit. It's a little petty. I try not to be too petty, and I try not to let you all be petty, but every now and again, petty lines up with the right thing to do. And the right thing to do is not to make him try and force him to be in another job. But it just lines up that, oh, it's a little uncomfortable for you sitting around this woman you used to sleep with that you can't sleep with anymore. You can barely even talk to. Yeah. And other people probably at the job know what was going on. They see that the thing didn't work out between you. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a little petty. Just a little. Just a little. I try not to be too petty. And I'm mostly petty towards the AP. But every now and again, yeah, you can be a little petty towards them. That's Mariah 15. I see you, girl. Hello over there on Instagram. You said true, and she's not really the problem anyway. Because Crystal said it was his choice. Exactly. Rhea, no, I don't. Okay, let me just tell you this. I hate the idea of trusting anybody 100%. That's insanity. That is insanity that we have been told that we are supposed to trust somebody else outside of ourselves 100%. Do you trust yourself 100%? I don't know. Look, I trust myself immensely. I don't trust myself 100%. So for me to say that I trust my husband 100%, that's delusional. That's not okay. It is not all right to trust somebody 100%. But you can look at your average of them. You can look at them and be like, you know what, 70, 80%. I trust them 70, 80%. They did some untrustworthy kind of bullshit lately, but I still trust them about 80. 80 is good. 80 is a B. 80 is fine. Okay? You do not need to trust anybody 100%. That's ridiculous. I don't know where that idea came from. I don't know why. And that's the patriarchy. That's what that is. That's to try and keep women down. So, because we're supposed to believe in a man 100%, and we don't even believe in ourselves 100%, but we're supposed to take that belief and transfer it to a man and believe in him 100%. Man, get out of here. No, no. So Rhea, no, nobody should be trusting 100%. If you were trusting 100% to begin with, you were kind of in a false, delusional kind of state anyway. You were in the fairy tale. You were believing something that was not true in the first place. Nobody is 100% trustworthy. Okay, nobody. There's nobody on the planet is 100%. All right, it is too much to ask of any of us to be 100% trustworthy. That's craziness. We can't do that. So, if you trust them like 70, 80%, look at all the other things too. It's not just this. There is plenty of things that you can trust him with. I trust my husband with my life, okay? Even though he's got a mental illness, he has saved my life before. He opened the door. We were having a house fire, able to get us out of the house to safety after the house fire. I can trust him with my life. So if I can trust him with my life, that's at least 80%, ain't it? All right. And I give him another 10 for I trust him to be the best dad he can possibly be. Okay, that's 90%. And I trust him to try very hard to make me happy. Hell, that could be another 7%. 97% right there. There's lots of different reasons to trust somebody, not just this. This is not the only thing. He said, so 100% is never a good idea. And I used to, which is one reason why I'm angry. Exactly. You were believing something that was false in the first place. Nobody is 100% trustworthy. Are you 100% trustworthy? That's always my question. You trusted him 100%. Did you trust yourself 100%? That's a weird imbalance if you trusted him 100%, but you didn't trust you 100%. You know what I mean? That's a little odd. And yeah, you're angry that such a big delusion was shattered. That, oh, I was completely safe. I could completely trust this person with every single solitary thing. That was delusional in the first place. Nobody is 100% trustworthy. So believing that in the first place, having that safe place in your brain that didn't actually exist, and then coming to terms with the fact that that place never existed, yeah, you're pissed. Yeah, you're angry because your brain told you that you were totally safe and you were never totally safe. And none of us is ever totally safe. We are never totally safe from somebody else hurting us. Other people have other motivations, things that they want to do. You got a whole bunch of other things that are going on in their life. So they're not always going to match up with being 100% trustworthy with you. You got to believe that your mate is going to try their very best to think about your best interest whenever they possibly can, but you don't have to believe in them 100% for everything. Lord, that's too much to ask. A thing that kills me. Okay, wait. Did I miss anything, Rhea? That's how I grew up. Okay, there we go. All right. Rhea said, the thing that kills me, which keeps me in this angry state, is he came home and didn't blink an eye and acted like nothing happened for months. That's the part that flames me up. Well, what was he supposed to do? You expect him to come home and act guilty and what? What would have made it better? If that makes you angry, what reaction could he have had that would have made you say, no, I'm not even angry at you? Like, is there one? Or is it just your anger, just your fear, just your pain, trying to come up with a reason for you to still be upset? Is that what it is? Think about it for a second. Susgras? Hey, I see you over there on Instagram. Hello. If I'm getting it wrong, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. All right. Joni said I totally understand this because that was the problem I had with him, is feeling like it was 100% before. Rhea, you said that's how you grew up. What, trusting 100%? Just lay it all out on the line. I'm saying I think that was something that, yeah. I think that was something to keep us down as women. I do. Believe in him 100%. Don't believe in yourself, but believe in him 100%. Hey there, sis. I'm glad you're here. Hello, hello. If you got questions, let me know. We are talking about getting on the healing path, reconciling, recovering after infidelity. If you've been through that, let me know. Carissa, does anger always come? I haven't felt any anger yet. Will it come, or do some people just feel the sadness only? If you're kind of in contact with your sadness, sometimes you can get away with not feeling angry, but the anger kind of will rear its head sometimes unexpectedly. So, like, look for like triggers. But I know, okay, we've talked about this. You are coming at it from a place of compassion, and a lot of people can't get to that. You are coming at it because you know that there was something really wrong with him. You know that he was not having a good time. Things were not going well in his brain. And so you're coming at it from compassion. And so it's harder to get mad at somebody when you know that they're sick and they're lashing out because they're sick. So you may have some anger with that, but it is the fact that you know that it wasn't you, it wasn't the relationship, it was something that was wrong in him that made this happen. So I think that's what it is. You're not coming at it from the place of, oh, he didn't think that I was good enough. You're not coming from that place. You're coming from, oh, there was something really, really wrong with him for him to all of a sudden do all of this, you know? Ria, you said not doing it in the first place. Not like I don't have options. What, not cheating in the first place? I mean, but people do the wrong thing. Cheating is just one way to betray you. People cheating is one way to betray you, but there's financial betrayal, there's emotional betrayal, there's a whole bunch of different types of betrayal that could happen in a relationship. And the thing about not doing it at all in the first place, that's trying to go back and make something undone. That's trying to go back in time and say, well, this should have never been the case. That was where I was stuck. That was where I was stuck for a good little while. Well, this shouldn't even be a thing that I have to heal from. But that doesn't matter at all. I can be mad that it's unfair all I want to. It still doesn't prevent the fact that I have to heal from this. So it's not fair, sure. Let's just go ahead. You can go ahead and say that. It is not fair. This shouldn't happen in the first place. You're absolutely right about that. But it has happened. So now you got to deal with it. Now you have to decide what comes next. Joni, I guess I don't keep things from anyone. I wish my husband would have said, I'm leaving you due to being unhappy rather than tear me apart like he has done. But that's hard to say. It's hard to say to somebody that they are unhappy without it making it be about you. Because, okay, if he is breaking up with you, you're saying, I wish that he would have just said, I'm leaving. You think that wouldn't have tore you apart too? You think that it would have just been fine if he had just come to you before he cheated and been like, okay, I'm really not happy and yeah, I don't want to be with you anymore. You wouldn't have suspected him of cheating? You wouldn't have thought that something was wrong then too? Yeah, you would have. So it's not the coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's all it is. Your brain is trying to make up excuses for you to still be mad about the way he did it, but it didn't matter the way he did it. Any way that he would have said, oh, I'm just leaving you, that would have been crushing. Find out he was cheating, that was crushing. Hurt people, Joni, it would have torn me apart, but being with someone else while with me too is hard some days. It is. I know. But look, Joni, I had the chick living with us, so it is possible to come through. It is. It is absolutely possible to come through. It is just hard the way they're doing it. I get that, but you don't really get to pick what other people do. You just have to learn how to surf this wave. Surf it as best you can without falling in the water. That's all you can do. That's all you can really do. And you got to decide what you want. You got to decide that what you want is more important than the insanity, because that's what it was for me. I had to actually decide that what I wanted to be with my husband, to be with the person that I loved, my person, was more important to me than having to deal with a little bit of actual insanity, dealing with somebody who can be psychotic at times. It was worth that much to me. So if it's worth this much to you, it is hard. Yes, it is. But don't get caught up in the details. Don't get caught up in, oh, well, if it could be a different way. You need to stay very grounded in the way that it actually is so that you respond to things the way they actually are instead of responding to them negatively the way that your brain and your trauma will want you to. All right. Is that it? That's all we got? Any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? Does anything I say sound completely ridiculous? Anything you're like, Dasha, no, absolutely not. That's not going to work. Anything? Let me know, because I love to argue about that stuff. Oh, boy. I love to argue why I'm not wrong. So if you got any reason to believe that I'm wrong, go ahead and share it so I can prove that I'm right. Oh, I'm telling you, man, it is hard. This was one of the hardest things that I've ever done. But the doing of it, the accomplishing it, made me realize who I really am. I can set my mind to something and I can accomplish it and I can get exactly the outcome that I pictured in my brain, and just about nothing can stop me. That's what this taught me. That's what this delivered to me. Um, to shine up a diamond, it takes abrasion. It's not a smooth process. It takes grit to be able to make a diamond shine. And that's what this is. It's just a little bit of grit. You're being polished, okay? You were already a diamond. Yes, you were, but you're going to come out shining after this, okay? You're going to come out believing that you are the baddest thing walking the planet. You're going to come out knowing that the things that you want can absolutely be, because you are just that bad. You are just possible. You are just able to make it possible. So, it's hard. It is. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's very much a thing that is worth it. Okay. Kathy, hi. Glad to see you. Hello. So 2 months ago, I discovered phone calls on my husband's phone bill. I have opened Pandora's box. This year we'll be married 40 years. My husband will not say that he did anything. If he did, he says he must have been drunk. I don't think that knowing the details would be helpful at this time. I feel like I would be pain shopping. I'm on medication. I've been in therapy sessions. This is hard. Yeah, trying to dig all into it. Okay, he's saying that he was drunk. Okay, so how drunk were you getting? What was going on with you? All right, let's take it. Let's believe him. How drunk were you getting? What was so wrong that you were getting that drunk that you were able to do all this? That your phone bill is showing all of this. What was that? What made you pick up the bottle? Because the bottle made you pick up the phone. Okay, I understand that. I get that. I'm understanding what you're saying. But what was it that was so painful that you were drinking that hard? And why don't I know about it? Why are we not talking about it and getting on that as a couple, as a unit to attack that problem? Why is that not something that I know about? That's how I would approach that. That's exactly what I would be talking to him about. Like, what was it that made you drink so much that this was the outcome? That's what I would ask. That's what I would talk to him about. But you're right. Asking the questions, knowing the details, no, it's not going to be helpful. And in the state that you're in, when you're first traumatized, you don't need all those details. First of all, you're not going to remember all of them. Second of all, they're going to traumatize you more. So there's no need for that. Yeah, you're right. Joni, this taught me I'm stronger than I thought and I can stand alone. Yes, you can, girl. Yes, you can. You are way stronger than you think you are. Okay. This is one of those things that really proved it to me. Oh, woman of steel. Oh, S on my chest. Oh, okay, I got you. I'm super. Gotcha. You taught me it. It helped me to understand it in a way that I had never understood it before, because this was the biggest thing that I've ever had to get over. And the fact that I was able to get over it just shows me how bad I am. Carissa, I love that. It's so hard. It consumes me every day. But in the end, it'll be better. Thank you for helping us through this. You're so welcome. I love to tell you about it. I don't want to gatekeep any of this information. I want you out of pain. I want you to know everything that I know, and I will tell you everything that I know. Just come talk to me. Okay? I don't want you to keep being hurt like this. I know this hurts, but this can stop hurting. I am living proof. It does not hurt anymore. It does not hurt me. And this was years of cheating. This was a baby scare. This was more than even just him cheating. He went to jail. He had a drug problem. Like, it was above and beyond the cheating. That's how I know about the pain thing making the cheating possible. It was above and beyond the cheating. And I was able to forgive him and I was able to get past this. And so that showed me that, oh, I am an angel. He's right about me. Every time he calls me one, he is right about that. I sure am an angel. It's amazing that you got through this, buddy. But he's my person. He is. He's a person I love more than anybody else. He is my favorite person. He's not my best friend. I have a best friend who's a girl, but he is my favorite person on this planet, shortly followed by my children. And, you know, the life without him would have sucked. The life without him, walking away, moving on, just kicking him to the curb would have been sad for me to not have the love of my life. And then it would not be the way it is now. Oh my God, it's so good now. He does sweet things for me all the time. He texts me from work and tells me have a good day. And he took me to brunch the other day. I didn't even tell y'all about that. I gotta post some pictures. On Monday, he took me to brunch. He was off work after I got off, and he was like, "Come on, let's go. We're gonna go to the park. We're gonna eat." And he made me. He had smoked salmon and crab cakes and kiwi and salads and a bottle of bubbly. And we sat in the park and we drank and we ate our little brunch. And he just told me how much he loved me and how much he appreciated me. And it's good now. It's good stuff. I don't want you to miss the good stuff because you being the angel, you being the goddess, you being the perfect woman, okay, it's going to make him really, really appreciate you, okay? He's going to be like, damn, I cannot believe I almost messed this up. Let me make sure I show her how wonderful she is. So, that's where I want you to get to. Maria, is he ever going to join this chat to share his perspective? He doesn't talk a lot. He lets me do this. When I first started doing this years ago, I was like, "You gonna come and talk or whatever?" He was like, "Nope, nope, that's your thing. Those are your people. You go ahead and talk to the women." I tell him that you should talk to the men, and he has actually started doing that. He gives people relationship advice, like guys that he works with, relationship advice now. And he was like, I usually give him your advice, but he was like, you give good advice. Why start giving it to other people? So he started working with the men in his life. So I hope that he starts to do that because he would be a great example for men. Because my man, he was a high degree of difficulty, okay? He wasn't doing none of the therapy. He wasn't doing no damn workbooks and worksheets. He wasn't doing all of the things that people say that he's got to do for me to heal. He wasn't doing none of that, okay? Not one damn thing, okay? He was not coming clean, showing me his phone, complete transparency, none of that crap. He wasn't doing any of it, okay? That's how I know how to heal without all that stuff. All right. So, it'd be nice. So maybe one night we can sit down together. We'd have to plan that ahead of time. He just started talking to somebody. Well, he just did the first one the other day. Did a podcast with one of his friends. So I think maybe one of these days I can get him to come and talk with me. But he doesn't like being on video. He didn't mind the podcast because that's audio, but this is video, and I don't know. Maybe I can get him to do it audio. Maybe we can do it together. But he's like, this is so much your thing, and he was like, I don't want to get in the way, and he was like, I don't even know how you did it. But yeah, his perspective was he was a hot mess. Yes, he was. He was all over the place, honey. But he's my boo, so I forgave him for that. All right, y'all, that's about it. So, last thing, we are going to do affirmation. All right. I want you to be working on affirmations, okay? I want you to be doing an affirmation for yourself at least once every day, one every day, not once. I want you to be repeating the affirmation obsessively. I want you to be going through every single solitary thing in your day and reminding yourself of the affirmation, okay? Affirmations only work because they are what you tell your brain. And what you've been telling your brain is, I'm so broken, I'm so sad, I'm so angry, I'm so hurt. This is the only thing that's going on in life. That's what you've been telling your brain. So that's what your brain believes right now. What you've got to do is start to believe something else. Start to tell your brain something good, something positive every day. And affirmations are a great way to start. You start off every single solitary day telling yourself a positive message and hanging on to that message. When the negative thoughts come, you come right back around to your affirmation. No, I am not believing that because my affirmation says this is true. And if you consistently do that, you're teaching your brain what you want to think about. All right. So if you are constantly just letting your brain think about the negative, that's what your brain will think about. But if you are constantly telling your brain, no, we're thinking about good stuff, and you constantly redirect it and think about the good stuff, you will train your brain to think about the positive instead. All right. So affirmations are whatever you tell yourself repeatedly. All right. That's why you must tell yourself a whole bunch during the day, these good affirmations for yourself. So from my affirmation deck, it says, today I feel healthy. Today my mind is clear, my body is healthy, and my soul is at peace. Woo! I love it. Today I feel healthy. Today my mind is clear, my body is healthy, and my soul is at peace. All right. That is a beautiful one. That's an excellent place to leave it off right there. Clear minds, peaceful souls. That's where we're going to leave it today. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything you want to talk to me about, if you want to get up with me, if you want to get on my email list, just message me, let me know. Or you can email me at info@lovecoachdasha.com, and I will answer you or put you on my email list or whatever it is that you want me to do. In the meantime, that's about it. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. You know, I love it when you come and talk to me. I will be back again next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, same bat time, same bat channel. In the meantime, I remind you to not do what the fear and the pain and the anger tell you to do. They're trying to lead you off the healing path. The opposite of what they tell you to do is the appropriate thing to do. And I love you. And I'm so, so proud of you. And I will see you again next week for the Healing Hour Live. You're so welcome, Rhea. Bye. Glad you were with me. Bye to everybody on Facebook. Queen Tasha. I try, girl. I try. Damn, I'm trying to work on my queenliness every day. I want you to be queens right alongside me. You hear? Oh goodness. All right. Bye to y'all on Instagram. Bye to you on Facebook and YouTube.